Hello world, this is Jeffrey, JGB146 Blake, coming to you with episode 2 of Ho-Oh's HoeDown. Today we'll be reviewing a match that I played in the 60cards.net monthly tournament. This is a tournament, by the way, that's organized through Facebook. It's free to enter. They give out PTCGO packs to the top 8 or 16, depending on how many people play, and then actually a physical mat to whoever wins each month. I'll put a link down in the description if you want to check them out, but in the meantime, I will go ahead. We'll review this first match. I believe we were facing Zoroark Decidueye, but we'll see once it comes up. Okay, here we go. And the typings definitely looked like Zoroark Decidueye with the dark and the grass along with the psychic, and they probably play Coco for like as a one of for the lightning type we saw. And okay, we get a pretty decent start here. I think probably starting Ho-Oh is best. We're likely to put a Float Stone on Oranguru, but putting him in the active just for that reason isn't really enough. So assuming they bridge it, our plan will be to play the Nest Ball, get a Salandit, put the Fire Energy on it, and then Ultra Ball for Lele for Kiawe onto Ho-Oh. So we see them play their Ultra Ball. They discarded an Espeon-EX and a Max Potion. Both cards that probably aren't going to come too much into play in this matchup, although getting that Espeon out could help them take down a Salazzle. And they do Lele for Bridget. I'm guessing they're going to get like another Rowlet and 2 Zoruas, but no, they get a Coco instead of the second Zorua. I guess they're looking at hitting Ho-Oh for weakness here, but I think that's a little bit underwhelming. I don't particularly like it anyway. I would rather have 2 Zoroarks if I were on their side of the field. But we'll see. So we'll go ahead with our plan. We'll play the Max Elixir, see if we can fully power up the Salandit. And we will be able to. And so we'll go ahead, get this attachment in. Unfortunately, we're going to end up discarding both the Choice Band and the Float Stone in order to get our Lele. But we'll make do with that. I'm going to go ahead and instruct now. Normally, if we were going to instruct, we'd want to wait and only do it when we had 2 cards. But since we're going to Kiawe, that's going to end our turn. We have to make sure we get everything done before we Kiawe. So instructing for 1 is better than instructing for 0 because we couldn't do it after we played the Kiawe. We wanted to do it, I guess, too, before we played the Lele, since we were only going to get 1 card anyway. If we happened to get a Kiawe, we could hold the Lele there. But we didn't. Our opponent goes ahead and plays in. That's kind of good for us. We did have the Salazzle-GX in hand that we got off the Oranguru. So, but we get it back, I was going to say. So it's a little unfortunate, but obviously it's not unfortunate when we get the Salazzle right back. Okay, so as I'm looking at things right now, I feel like the best play is going to be definitely evolving. And then I think we just Guzma the Lele and take our 2 prizes. I think that's good. We want to make sure we get full use out of Ho-Oh because we're starting to get down into the range where he could KO us with Zoroark if he gets a Choice Band, and even soon enough after. Instead, I went for a KO on one of the Rowlets in game. I think this is a slight mistake. We're on odd prizes now. We'll probably be KOing the Tapu Koko, but if we had KO'd the Lele there, and then we get a Choice Band next turn, it would give us the opportunity to potentially KO the Zoroark, and we'd be that much closer to having meaningful numbers off of Salazzle. So I think some slight mistakes were made there. Nothing too big, obviously, but we'll see how it turns out. Okay, we do see our opponent getting one Decidueye out this turn. And attaching a Float Stone. So a top deck of a Guzma would be great for us. Instead we get a Fire Energy. That's okay. I think just attaching to the baby Volcanion is correct. It sort of isn't great that we're losing a switch card and an energy, but it happens. We do like some of these other cards that we've got. The Choice Band means we can one-hit KO the Zoroark whenever we want. The Max Elixir, I think it's worth it to go ahead and use it. Try to get that third energy on the Volcanion, because we can think about going ahead and using him to get a 1-hit KO on the Decidueye. I don't think we want to bench the Turtonator here. We could keep that spot open in case we top deck another Lele, so we could get a Guzma and control where our KO comes from next turn. Indeed, we got the Lele, so that's good for us, and again, it's a reason against having benched Turtonator, so I'm glad we didn't. So going into our next turn, we can KO pretty much whatever we want. And that's good. And then after that, Salazzle will be primed for a knockout on anything but a Zoroark. Is our opponent going to end here? No, the Sycamore. Part of me thinks that our opponent should end there. We have 7 cards and they'd end us down to 4. But at the same time, they're pretty far behind, so maybe desperation plays are called for. In any case, I think our play next turn is to Lele for Guzma and get a big KO. Okay, so we attach the choice to Ho-Oh. That's good. Play down, getting Guzma. Good. I think we go ahead and take out the Zoroark, because then it's the only thing left that our opponent, that we couldn't have one-hit KO with Salazzle. That is our last Guzma. Now, there's nowhere to really attach this energy meaningfully. We could put it on a Lele. We definitely don't need to put it onto the Ho-Oh. It gives us the option of retreating, but with only 110 hit points left, chances are good that he's going to be able to take it out anyway. We do get a Guzma in hand. So, well, we don't have it now. I was going to say, with the Guzma in hand, we definitely have a KO wherever we want. Okay, so he's going to get a second Decidueye out. And he benched the Mewtwo, so he's probably going to attack with the Mewtwo. And he'll do 120. So he gets the KO with just the Mewtwo there. That's unfortunate. If we hadn't attached that extra energy, he'd have to spend a Feather Arrow on Ho-Oh this turn. and obviously that would leave less damage on our board. So I think that would have been better for us, obviously. We'll go ahead. We get the KO with Salazzle. I don't know. It's a little dicey because we're getting the KO, but we're getting it at the cost probably of a 2-prize Pokemon. We definitely, if we can get it, we want to get Guzma here, but the chances there are fairly slim. Okay, so here's something we could have done that now we can't really do. If we hadn't promoted Salazzle, if we'd thought about it, we could have actually gone ahead, promoted the baby Volcanion. We had Kiawe in hand. I mean, we didn't know we were going to get the Ho-Oh, though. Because getting Ho-Oh would mean that we were able to then Kiawe onto Ho-Oh this turn instead of attack. But we didn't know we were going to have a Ho-Oh. So you can't fault us there. Alright. And let's see where we're at. He's going to get the KO here with the Lele. And we have 60 damage on our baby Volcanion. So I think we promote the baby Volcanion here. Nothing else really makes a lot of sense to me. And I'm torn about what else we want to do. Okay, Ultra Balling away the Salazzle in the end seems fine. We can get... So we could get our... Right, okay. We only have 3 energies left, so we can't... I was thinking about potentially a Kiawe onto Ho-Oh play here. But with only 3 energies, that's going to take too many turns, I think. We could get the Volcanion-EX to try to steam up. I ended up getting Turtonator. I'm not sure about this. We could Kiawe onto Turtonator. That's a possibility. But I'm still not sure that I like it. Okay. So we got the energy in hand, but how do we use it? Probably our best bet is just to manually attach at this point and then play a power heater. It's close though. I don't... So the problem here is that we're unlikely to be able to retreat the Turtonator unless we put a bunch of energy on him. And ideally what we want to do is fully power up the Ho-Oh. So if we do that, yeah, if we do that, we have 2 energies on Turtonator, and that's sort of not enough. I think that's the best of a bad situation, though, is maybe putting one of the energies on Turtonator. And we're already seeing what the problem is, because with 3 feather arrows, he's got us at 160. There goes. I was going to say either a Choice Band or a DCE, and he got the DCE. Becomes enough for Lele to KO Turtonator. If we'd only put 2 energies on, he'd have to do both a Choice Band and a DCE. And we could have lived through this. Now, would we have been able to do anything the following turn? I don't know. But we would have had the chance. And again, I think probably playing it safe with the EX or with the Volk Baby and just using Power Heater. And again, I think probably playing it safe and just using Power Heater with the Baby Volk would have been a better play overall. Anyway, that was game one. It was close, but we narrowly lost, even though we had that commanding lead. I think there were a few misplays on our part, and our opponent played it pretty well. But that means we get to choose whether we want to go first or second in game two. And of course, we want to go first. And hopefully we can win this one, and there will be a game three. Let's dig in. Okay, again, we get a pretty good start. Not great because we don't have an Ultra Ball or a Lele or a Kiawe. But here I'm debating whether to start Ho-Oh or start Salazzle, and I choose to start the Salazzle so that we can Max Elixir onto Ho-Oh. I'm not convinced that this is the right play, though. Merely because we're probably going to Sycamore here. Well, now we're not. Now we're definitely going to Ultra Ball and get Lele for Kiawe, which means now we need to play the switch. But what I was looking at before I said that was it might be better to be able to Max Elixir onto Salandit so that we can evolve to Salazzle next turn, potentially. As is, we're doing what we can. We were going to lose the switch anyway when we play Sycamore next turn. So here I'm finally going through prizes, which I didn't even mention last game, but I didn't do properly last game. So it looks like 2 Guzma are prized. And 3 energy, and then obviously 1 other card that I'm missing. Oh, 1 more N, because this is the version of the list that played 3 N rather than 2 N and a Lillie and a Lillie and a Lillie. So grab those, stick them on the Ho, and ready to go. The only issue here, and we might have even just not played the switch, because he can't attack next turn. I mean, even if he did something crazy to try to attack with a Lele, he wouldn't get the KO on Salandit. But the issue we're facing, and we kind of face a lot with Ho-Oh, looking back, it hurt me in several matches, is that if we attack for 50, it doesn't help us a ton. If we attack for 60, it means we either had to steam up or we had to get use the whole 180 can't attack next turn jargon. So it actually hinders us to take low HP single prize knockouts with Ho-Oh. It's harder to chain them, which means it's sometimes better to get early knockouts with Salazzle. Now, we whiffed energy, so we wouldn't have been able to do it this game anyway, and maybe you whiff energy often enough that it's worth it to just go with the Ho-Oh, but I haven't come to a firm decision there. Our opponent's just going crazy with attachments. But I would too if I had a Sycamore and a ton of tools. So he's gonna get, right now it's 130, and that'll make it 150 damage onto Ho-Oh. And we're probably looking at finding a way, if possible, to switch Ho-Oh back to the bench to reactivate his attack and then one-hit KO the Zoroark. That's our goal for this turn. I think we want it bad enough to attach the Choice Band. Since we don't have any other basics lined up, there's no point in benching the Volc-EX, so I hope I don't do that. The Choice Band will be enough to get us a KO if we are able to switch back, but I choose to attach it to Salazzle. I mean, this makes some sense too, assuming we get a KO with Ho-Oh. Now we almost need to bench the Volc-EX though. I don't know. It's really close there. Okay, so we can bench the Ho-Oh and then try to Max Elixir onto it. What am I doing? Oof. I don't like this. Because we already have one of the, one Salazzle ready to go. So I think getting some energy on a second Ho-Oh is more important than a future Salandit that may or may not become a Salazzle down the road. As is, we take what we can get. We do 140 damage, looking to 2-hit KO the Zoroark. So our opponent's kind of set up in that they'll be able to, as soon as they can get a Decidueye out, they'll be able to start just getting feather arrow damage, and it only takes 2 feather arrows to KO Ho-Oh. Looks like they're going to get the first one out now. That's problematic. Yep. So that means next turn Ho-Oh is going down without having done really anything. So this is definitely the Salazzle game. We get a feather arrow. You know, we'd almost like for Ho to be going down this turn, unless we manage to get a Guzma or something. You see a field blower come down to reduce our damage, and for no reason whatsoever get rid of the Float Stone. And we've got 150 damage now on the Salazzle as well. Okay. So this isn't actually looking as good as last game did by this point, by any means. And a lot of it stems back to that first attack with Ho-Oh, where we set ourselves up to not be able to attack. So here I'm checking to see if we can play the Super Rod. The only thing we would get back from it is the Volcanion-EX. I don't think that's worthwhile. Do we want to bench the Ho-Oh? That is the question. So, benching it, if we can get enough energy, gives us a good attacker, obviously. But once we take this KO, our next Salazzle will also be a powerful attacker. I think it's going to take so long to get energy onto the Ho-Oh that it's better to just skip it. And okay, so we get our Salazzle, and we also have a switch if we want it. So I think we use it, make it that much harder for our opponent, because what we can do is take this KO, right? So now we're down to 3 prizes. our opponent, unless they have Guzma in their 2 cards, they aren't going to be able to both KO Ho-Oh and Salazzle. So they take the KO on Ho-Oh. I guess they're hoping for help from their prizes here. My guess is they don't get it. At least don't get enough of it. And okay. So it actually helps us out that they retreated the Decidueye. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter one way or the other. Because either of our Ho-Ohs could be doing what we're about to do, which is taking this KO. We'll be down to 1 prize, which means the remaining Salazzle would be able to 1-hit KO anything anyway. It doesn't hurt us to burn the energy there, so I think it's fine. Leaving a more healthy Pokemon in our active. I think it would have been okay. There are arguments that letting him get 2 more prizes doesn't matter when we're guaranteed to be able to get our last prize the following turn. But here we lock it up. And we'll go to game 3. So the result there was better, even if we didn't get it in the early game, we got it in the mid game, but you know, however you win is a win. I didn't see nearly as many potential mistakes in that game. The first game we saw multiple places where I think we did some questionable plays, and that last game, the only thing that might have been a mistake was the Ho-Oh start. Well, not even start, but getting Ho into the active when Ho-Oh's second turn is meaningless against an evolution deck. So anyway, we'll go ahead, we'll get our last game loaded up here and see how it goes. I guess I should note going into game 3 that our opponent will get to decide who goes first. That's the way best of 3s work, is whoever loses the previous game gets to decide who goes first in the following game. So we got to decide game 2 because we lost game 1, and he gets to decide, no matter who wins this coin flip, he gets to decide. He said he wanted to go first in chat outside of the game, so he's going first. And we are starting Ho-Oh with a strong possibility of getting Salazzle. So that's good. Strong possibility of getting Kiawe. Click done. And we see them start a Zoroark. So interestingly enough, the problem we faced last game where we had that sort of useless attack. Wow. They seriously just had to attach and pass. That's rough. So we will go ahead, get Salazzle. Again, get Kiawe. We could Ultra Ball here to get a Salandit, but I don't think it's the right play. Looks like that's what I'm doing. But I think this is a mistake, because I think we want to hold Ultra Ball, even though we're way ahead here. I think it's better to hold the Ultra Ball and be able to play it for another Lele on the following turn. Getting a Salazzle set up with no energy kind of doesn't matter. So we'll see what happens. But that's my gut feeling. So we are, unless they end, which seems, I mean, if they have the ability to end, they'll definitely do it because they're drawing pretty poorly. But they may just go ahead and Sycamore, or even maybe Bridget. I prefer a Sycamore to a Bridget at this point, I think. But he chooses to Bridget. Okay. I question that a lot because we are going to KO the Zoroark GX. Now we only have 40 HP left, so if he can get enough energy for any real kind of attack, then that's great for him, and he'll get the return KO. But if he can't, and the can't seems fairly likely, given that he only has the 2 cards, I think we're in good shape now. Okay, so assuming that he doesn't get an in here, he gets the Zoroark. That helps him some. Oh, and he has a rare candy. But if he has a rare candy Decidueye, that leaves him nothing to trade on. And this is a rough situation. Okay. I think our play is actually going to be... Yeah, I like the Elixir. I think we manually attach to Salazzle. I think we, go ahead. Get Oranguru, just so we have some card draw going on. And then I think we're going to Guzma, and then manually retreat the Salandit. Before we retreat, definitely want to instruct in case we get like a switch or Float Stone even. We didn't. There's no need to bench anything at this point. And we'll just Phoenix Burn for knockout. So we're already down to 2 prizes left. And we have, if we can get 1 more energy, we have the Salazzle that can hit for healthy amount. I don't see any way that we lose this game. So our opponent does get the easy knockout on Ho-Oh. And it's an interesting question of what to promote here. We're definitely going to be super rodding back all of that energy. So that was a clear... Oh, yeah. And we win. Okay. I was like, we'll super rod and we'll try to max elixir, but we don't even need to. We just Guzma KO. So that game was went a lot better for us, obviously. Our opponent had some real draw issues there, which is unfortunate, but that happens. I mean, that happens to every deck. So went well for us. That's actually how a lot of games tend to go, though, is that you set up super fast and can just steamroll before they're really ready to return. And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up for today. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe as appropriate. See you next time.